One. And we are recording with Mr. Roger Williams in the first episode in the new apartment. As it was in the beginning, it shall be in the end, or whatever Alpha Omega quote. You were the first episode in the old apartment. Anybody listening, fuck off. I thought it was gonna be catchy. It has been a total clusterfuck, as you can tell.
It always is.
As you can tell, it is
Bless you.
neon lighting that dude, I thought I could connect all the strands, but they're all independent strands.
Is that EL wire?
Is it what?
EL wire?
I don't know if it's
Electroluminescent wire. EL wire?
I don't know if it's
Like
it might be. It's in like a
like that.
plastic tubing kind of.
Yeah.
I think it's like that. It's
Yeah.
it's
See, I saw it in the little preview that you did. And I decided, I have a little bag of stuff that I picked up at Radio Shack right before they went out of business for 10 cents on the dollar. So I did a little uh
I was gonna say that hasn't always
and
been there, yeah.
no. Well, if you remember, I talked about the 1974 80 megabyte disk drive that I took apart.
Yeah.
That's the magnet.
Good Lord in heaven. That
A-
entire thing?
yeah, actually, this acrylic disc that I'm tapping wasn't part of the original assembly. Uh, this part here on the top was actually inverted and
Inside.
inside the other so that the voice coil could go between the two of them. I thought I still had the voice coil. In fact, I looked for it this afternoon, but I couldn't find it. I think I must have thrown it out. But the two of these things together weigh 70 pounds. And every tool that I use to get them apart is magnetic to this day. Uh,
Oh, really?
oh, yeah. All you got to do is put a screwdriver inside this thing here.
It becomes a permanent magnet.
It becomes a permanent magnet. One just in and out. Boom. Once. Yeah, it's magnet. This thing, the head assembly, you can imagine weighed several pounds.
Yeah.
And this thing with the voice coil was able to ram it back and forth in milliseconds to find the right track on the layered cake disc head that was about this big. So this thing
Fuck.
was just like, yeah, for 80 megabytes.
Good
I
Lord.
and yeah. So and I don't think it's phallic enough.
No, I think it's great. Okay.
There
No,
we
it's
go.
just no, okay. No, it's just like one looks like a dog's dick. Um uh yeah, it's this is I mean the apartment's cool. I need to find
the
out how to
setup the setup looks good, man.
thank you, man. I
I
appreciate
think
it.
you are on you're on a good. I like that you're paying some attention to the visual aesthetic. Using your obviously you have some
Shout out
talents
Roger wearing
there.
some original merch.
Yeah. So yeah, it's like this time you're paying some attention there to the visual aesthetic of the studio and stuff too. It's like, yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing what you do when you're feeling better.
It's gonna I'm still in the I finished the tiles this morning and started putting up I put up the lights last night. Yeah, I mean the last studio was really fun. It's what I wanted it to be, moving
Mhm.
from like above my parents' garage to my own apartment. I wanted to make it like a little closet hole, and that was fun, and I really enjoyed that. It felt a lot like a cockpit. You always
Yeah.
hear fighter pilots say they strap on the plane. I often felt like I was strapping on the podcast because I literally had to go sideways to get into my room, and then I had to go sideways to get into my little faux
Yes.
cubicle. There was barely enough room for this chair. I mean, now I can do this. I mean,
Yeah, I remember. Yeah, yeah, you couldn't do that before.
no,
Yeah.
it was. I mean, I can literally. I got a ton of room now. It's an
Shit,
entire.
you could actually have a guest physically there with you in like
Oh,
meat
that's the weird.
space.
Oh, that's the weird thing, and I'm kind of nervous about that because I used to just when people be like, "Oh, I don't live that far from you," I'd just be like, "No, you literally can't fit in the studio." Now I don't have an excuse to be asocial, so instead I'll just have to say I don't want to meet you, and
You would need another chair.
I would need another chair, and that will be the limiting reagent. I will say, unfortunately, I don't own another chair. We can't do it. It's impossible. But I made it, and I was kind of tempted because I have a huge walk-in closet. I was kind of tempted when I walked in here. I was like, oh, that's a huge fucking closet. And I was like, I could put the studio in there. And I was just like, no, I don't want to do that. I want it. So, because when I was moving out, when I deconstructed the studio, like the first thing I did was like took down like the faux cubicle thing before I took any of the shit
Mhm.
off the walls, just like the fake partitioning. And and then I was like packing up other stuff in my house or my apartment, but I still had like the desk up and the computer up and all like the cameras were still working. And so for a couple days when I was just like playing video games after like a day of packing, I realized just how much more enjoyable it was to just kind of like walk in the room and like plop on the chair. And I was like,
Yeah, you're not
this is
crammed in this little space.
I was like, this is like open and airy. And then I was like, because I planned on making this a guest room. And then like really only in like the last couple days at my apartment that I was like, wait, fuck that. I'm just gonna make it a whole goddamn room. And that's what I did. And that's what this whole room is gonna, as you can see, there's
Yeah.
little boxes everywhere. Um,
And the audio sounds very good too. You don't have
thank
any
you.
echoes or anything. It's like
Thank you.
I think you're doing great
Thank you.
there.
Thank you. And I was nervous about that because the ceiling, for anybody that's not interested, go fuck yourself. This is me and Roger catching up. But the ceiling is like I thought it was gonna be like plaster because the last one I had the sound tiles in the ceiling. But it's like I don't think it's concrete, but it's something that I can't put a tack into. And I can't put tape on it. Like the tape doesn't stick. And I don't want to be that asshole nailing shit because I'm on the fifth floor and there's
Yeah.
people above me and below me. I don't want to be that guy because I had those neighbors in the last bang bang. You could tell when someone's moving in.
Oh yeah.
So I don't have any tiles on the ceiling, but I guess that was my concern was it going to echo? But
No, I think it's doing great.
I think got every other surface. But
Yeah.
I mean,
There's a critical point with stuff like that. It's like if you only have one surface that's echoey, then it doesn't boing back and forth.
no,
So
good point. Yeah, you're right.
yeah,
I probably should have figured that out.
yeah. So I mean, I mean, I guess the critical thing is what's on the floor.
Well, you carpet, yeah.
Yeah. So you got
So
carpet on the
there's
floor. You've got
and then
acoustic tiles on all the walls. So even though the ceiling is a little echoey, there's nothing to boing it back and forth. So you're
it's a
in
good
good shape
point.
there.
That's a good
Yeah.
point. I guess I shouldn't be like directly yelling at the ceiling because then it would bounce. But yeah, and
But it'll
so
only bounce once.
yeah, so that was my anyway. So, but I do want to tell you about. So yeah, but the rest of my apartment still looks like a bomb went off. My
It always does after you move, man. It's
dude,
like this place was like that for 3 months after I moved
it's
into it.
so fucking I hate it. I'm spending all day unpacking. Well, I mean, the first thing I did was like before I even put my bed together. My bed's still
Hmm.
not together. I just my even my kitchen is still just like there's just random boxes ripped open where I
Dude,
was like,
all you need is a mattress on the floor.
well,
Bang.
that's what it is right now. And there are boxes ripped open to where I finally found the treasure trove of clean dishes and silverware. So you can just see you can see like sort of like the DEFCON 1 bare necessities. Like I found the
Hmm.
toilet paper, I found shampoo, I found like the refrigerator works. You can very like tell there's like one of these like light stands in my room just like poked into a pillow. It's like we have lighting, like the
Hmm.
blankets are functioning, the door locks. You can very quickly see like the bottom of the pyramid of like the hierarchy of needs. Um
Yeah.
and
I've had to move 3 times after from my parents' house to Gentilly, then to Kenner, then to Metairie, then to Kenner, and then here. And that I moved here in 1992. And uh, if I had to move here, I would probably have to get a rollout dumpster.
yeah,
For
I'm never leaving. I told my mom that. If the podcast succeeds wild, my mom was like, what if the podcast blows up and you can go, because I've always wanted to like be up in the woods, my own compound. That's like the ultimate end goal. I have literally decided if I make enough money, I will just go buy a house and keep this place. I'm never moving again. If the podcast makes more money than I have to do with, God willing, one day, I will go
yeah.
have a second location. I'm not. My little brother said it best in a text because he came and helped me move. And the conversation just literally picks up as, you don't need to keep apologizing. I get it. Moving sucks. Because he came and helped me. He goes, moving never ends with the quote, that was easy. It always ends with a blood oath to never do it again. I thought it was a brilliant quote. Um, but yeah, so I start moving, like, what I did the last episode last Sunday, and I started moving that night,
Hmm.
and studio took the most time. Took a lot.
And you meant to restart this tomorrow, but I told you that, well, I had already filled in the timesheets to take off Wednesdays,
Yeah.
so I kind
Yeah.
of pushed you a little bit.
No, no, it would no. I mean, honestly, it made me set up. This is like, people say when you're like addicted to pills or something that you're taking orders from like a dark lord, that it's you're doing what it wants, not what you want. That's kind of how I feel at this studio. Before I was moved in at all, I was like, I need to set up the studio. Like I need to like prepare the throne for the Antichrist.
Yes.
Like my ribs are showing and I'm like bleeding and I'm like, the Dark Lord is coming. I was like, I need to build. I'm coughing and hacking. I don't have a license. I don't know where anything
Man,
is.
that really sucks.
I don't know where to
Me-
get groceries. I don't, and I'm just like before anything, and I'm like, I need to. I haven't even
Yeah.
figured out how to fucking work. They have some weird alien thermostat. I don't even know how to use it. So I'm opening the windows because I'm in Maine, so I can use that to cool it down, and then I
It's
use all
nice.
the,
It's
I
nice for now, but wait a couple of days.
I use all the electronics to heat up the room. I'm just doing this. So
Yeah.
I open the window when I want it to cool down, and then I close it, and all the lights
Yeah.
heated up.
So you're in Portland, right?
I am.
That is a beautiful town. That is actually one of the few places in New England that I've actually been. Uh, I took a trip up there. I flew into Portland and rented a car, and we took the ferry to Weeks Island and met Rusty Foster, who is the guy who founded Corrosion, which is the site that put
Mm-hmm.
your favorite novel
Moby.
online. And then we drove up the coast. We took a whale watching tour. We toured the island where the auks, AUKS, the northern penguins as they are
Mm-hmm.
breed. Them little motherfuckers fly, but it's like they fly like freaking, like they got to get a lot of speed to get in the air. That was something. That was something else. I didn't expect that. So it was a really cool trip, but we didn't get inland, so it was mainly coastal Maine. We went up and down, ate like five lobsters, uh, plenty of clams, stuff like that. It was interesting being from Louisiana that you have the fresh seafood there. It's
Oh
not
yeah,
this. It's not the same seafood,
it is
but
weird.
everyone takes it for granted. It's like if it ain't fresh, it's
You know,
like
it's it's so fucking weird. Is so I actually lived just outside Portland in 2007. We moved up
Mhm.
here for my dad's job. My dad was in the food industry, and we always moved. I moved. I was born in '90. I moved in '95 to Arkansas, from New Hampshire to Arkansas in
Wow.
2000. Yeah, 2000 from Arkansas to New Hampshire, 2001 from New Hampshire to Georgia. But I really
You've
don't
been all over the damn place.
yeah, but I really don't remember like a whole, like when you move when you're 5, it doesn't even register. When you move when you're
Yeah.
9, you miss your friends, but like you've also only been alive for 9 years. And then I moved again when I was 11. Again, I was only, so I don't really. And then I was in Georgia from 2001, and then I finished middle school, went to high school. That I remember that move because that was like really upsetting. I did not want to move. I was 17, super angsty. But the
Hmm.
point is
Well, there you would start to appreciate the differences in the culture and the things like the food and stuff like that, which you
yeah,
didn't when you were
and it
younger.
was in the middle of high school. It's a lot harder in
Hmm.
the middle of high school when it's already like militant cliques versus when you're like a dipshit 10-year-old and everyone just has a bowl cut in its asshole. But like we moved up, we were only up here for like 9 months, and then we ended up moving back down to Georgia for my dad's job, back into the same house, and I went to the same school. It was very weird. That's
Wow.
another story for another time. But like
Okay. Yeah.
I did end up, I was like 20 minutes from here, and I haven't been here since, but it's weird because we would drive kind of along these same bridges every day to school. And there's a Planet Fitness that I used to go to. And I'm having these weird, like, Jason Bourne moments where I'm like, I don't quite recognize, like, if I went back to like Georgia right now, I would definitely recognize the buildings. It's been 5 years since I
Yeah.
moved, right? But because this was 15 years ago and I was only here for 9 months, I'm kind of like vaguely recognizing like shapes of skylines. And I feel
Yeah.
like some weird epigenetic imprinting of like why, even if you've never seen a panther, you're still scared of it because it's in your gene. So I'm seeing these like weird. I'm like where I feel like Jason Bourne, like a much less cool Jason Bourne, but Jason Bourne nonetheless. Where I'm like, all of a sudden I'll start merging right, and I'll be like, how did I know to go there? And like, it's just very like I came out on a road yesterday and saw this like edge of this pond, and I was literally like, I've been there. Like I've been
Mhm.
there with my mom and like my like now deceased dog. But very odd. But we did live in a house that was across the street from a fire station. And one night, me and my older brother John, because the parents were out of town, we got shit faced and we spray painted a fire station. And I kind of want to see if it's still spray painted. And
I'm
I
gonna
didn't.
guess probably not.
Yeah, well, it was dicks. We just spray painted like neon dicks. I was 17. I didn't tell my parents that till like a couple years after my brother died. But the it is very because it's not like entirely new, but it's very there's like a very weird kind of almost
Yeah.
fever dreamishness to this. It's odd. It's very odd. I like it though.
Well, that's
There was no point to that
yeah.
story.
That's life, man.
Yeah,
That's
I like it
yeah.
though. I've never lived
No,
like
it's like I think you'll have a good time there. It's like take the ferry out to Weeks Island sometime and say hi to Rusty Foster if you see him. But otherwise it's still a nice little day trip.
so. I was like moving out, just whatever. Just nothing special. The shittiness of moving. You're just like fuck, where I gotta put all this. It's not like you're cleaning your room. You just have that moment when you're moving where you still kind of believe that like you don't have to move everything, and then it starts dawning on you. You're like, literally everything has to go. Not just like we're not changing out the computer for a new one. That we're getting rid of the desk, and you gotta pull out the cords, and you're like, oh fuck, you're really
All the
every.
cables.
You're not just the mattress, and you gotta unscrew it's everything, and it's just like fuck. Um, but whatever.
And
And
will it even work when you put it together again?
exactly. And then eventually you have that moment of just accepting that. I remember I kind of had that moment of I just went, this is just gonna suck for the next 10 days. And it was kind of easier from that point. I just said, I'm just gonna be
Okay.
angry. I'm just gonna be angry. And my
Well, that's
mom
one way to cope with it.
I just accepted it. I was like, this just sucks. And once because at first I was like, because in everyday life, I try to stay positive. I'm always trying to keep anxiety and depression at bay, and that's good for the long haul. But I was like, you know what? It's
But
okay.
moving is just fucking depressing.
I was like,
That's
it's okay to just fucking let it all out. Stub your toe. You're just gonna be pissed off, and like, you know, you don't have to wave to people, right? But so moving out, my mom comes down and helps me, and we finish kind of like moving it all. And, it's a huge bitch, kind of like moving everything to the U-Haul. But again, nothing whatever out of the it's just the shittiness of moving. We
mm.
drive halfway up to Portland. We stay at my aunt's house in New York. And I
How
wake up,
far is it from Maryland to Portland?
I think we drove 5 hours the first day and 6 hours the second day. So
Jesus.
it's north. I mean,
Yeah.
I think it's the same. I could be wrong, but I think it's the same distance from Maryland that Maryland is from Atlanta.
Okay, so yeah, that'd be like me,
It's the other
when
half of the country. Yeah.
yeah, so that's further than it looks. That would be like when we evacuated Knoxville for the hurricane from New Orleans.
It's a distance.
That was about I say, well, that's like a 9 or 10 hour drive.
It's it was
You do it in one go.
it took a minute.
Yeah.
And, it's whatever. I'm listening to a podcast the whole way up. I'm whatever. I'm excited to be out. And stay at my aunt's house. And I woke up the next morning, just super sore throat. And I was like, fuck. I'm like, I'm sick.
Yeah.
Whatever. This is just gonna suck. We drive up the
Well,
next
that's the thing is the stress of something like moving will make you susceptible to
a
things
hundred, well,
like that.
100%. That's the first thing I thought. I was like, oh, I'm just fucking whatever. Again,
Yeah.
but I'm also an I'm also an educated adult with a loving family living in America in 2022. I always try to remember, I'm like, hey, you got it good, you fucking loser. Uh, oh no, you have to move up north to be closer to your family where you get to do your own job. Yeah, eat a dick. But like, uh, so then we stay in like Portland the first night, and so the next morning we go and we're gonna move in, and I'm like, all right, we've got a U-Haul trailer attached to my mom's truck, and my mom calls me. I get here, right, and I'm having those like weird first day of school jitters. I'm like, oh, I'm in a new city. I'm like, it's November. I'm 32. Like, what am I even nervous? And I was literally just like, stop being a fucking loser. Get here, come in here. I get my keys. And I'm just like, I'm sick. And I'm like, this is just going to suck, but we just got to get up to the apartment. My mom calls me and she goes, we're having U-Haul troubles. I was like, what? Because we both drove in here like a half hour away. And I was like, what's that? What does that mean? And it turns out that one of the wheels in the U-Haul trailer was stuck up against like the wheel well, completely immobile. And I
The
was like,
suspension failed. Yeah.
what? She's driving and it's just smoking. And someone had told her at a Dunkin' Donuts, and she was like, thank you so much. But we realized it had been that way since Maryland because there was no accident or anything. And I
Yeah,
actually looked,
that's
I had taken
that
I had taken a picture of it when we were pulling out of my neighborhood because I was just kind of wanted a picture of like we're leaving. And I'm looking back at it and I'm realizing in hindsight, like if you look at the picture, it is lopsided. And so we're looking at that. My little brother's looking at it and he's like, that tire should have exploded 1,000 miles ago. And the technician comes and looks at it that U-Haul sends out, who's like an independent contractor.
hmm
And he goes, that wheel should have exploded on the freeway, should have corkscrewed you. No, he literally looks at my mom. He goes, that would have been fatal. And so now we're like, the fuck. So I'm like, so I go back inside. We're downtown. I have to have like a moving permit to be here, which I don't know shit about. I've always lived in the suburbs where you can just go
what?
park anywhere.
Yeah.
Well, you have
That,
to. It's in the middle of the city. You have to have like a permit to go, unless you know you to park like a U-Haul. And I'm like,
oh,
I go back
yeah.
inside, and I'm like, I have like a specific window in which I can like move. And I was like, hey, there's having U-Haul troubles. U-Haul does know what to do with it. They're like, we can send you a new U-Haul, and then you can move everything from one U-Haul to the other. And I was like, go fuck yourself. And so this guy comes and puts the U-Haul on a flatbed, and now there's like a huge flatbed down here, and I'm like, motherfucker. So we're on this tiny little street with this huge fucking flatbed, and I'm walking. They're like, yeah, we gotta like call like a non-emergency number. So there's like a cop there with us that I didn't know at first. I thought there was like a cop looking at us. And I'm like, all right, and I'm sick, and I'm just like, I just want. And now people are like, what the fuck is it? Because it looks like a clown car. There's a U-Haul
On a
strapped on a
trailer.
flatbed. It's like a boat towing a plane or something. Like people are coming out and they're like, and I'm like, I'm just having a day. One guy comes out and he goes, ha, looks like a little overkill, huh? And my little brother just gave him a look that said, like, I'm gonna bite your jugular. And like, so I'm like, motherfucker. And the guy's like, well, I can't get
Yes, let's start by pissing off your neighbors.
yeah, I don't say anything, but I'm just like, so the U-Haul guy is like, I don't know what to do. Like, I can't take it off. Like it's like whatever. I can't unstrap it now because it's like not stable. And but the guy was cool. He was like, U-Haul's paying me, so I can stay here as long as you want. And I was like, all right, cool. So he like lowers the flatbed, and it's at like an angle. We open it up, and like shit's falling out. So I was just luckily the
And just unload it.
lady at the front desk was super cool. She was like, you can just move everything into the lobby real quick and then take your time going up. And I was like, oh, cool.
Well,
And
that was nice of him. Yeah.
very nice. And the people here are great. And
I noticed that when I visited Maine.
I genuinely do like it. And some guy walks out right in the front door downtown, takes his little dog right out the front door, the sidewalk, and the poor little puppy just pisses everywhere, which is whatever. It's a city. Cities are gross. But it's right in front of the front door where I have to carry all of my stuff. There is now like a gallon that somehow came out of this like 5 pound corgi. And my throat hurts, my ears hurt, my all of my belongings, the studio are strapped into a U-Haul that is now on an angle on the back of this fucking truck in a city that I haven't been to in 15 years. And there's just like a crackhead outside, whatever reason, just eyeing us. And I'm like, motherfucker. And so we open it up, and so everything starts falling out. I'm like, we gotta bring everything to the lobby. And it wouldn't even be that bad if I just had normal belongings. But I've got about 10,000 sound tiles.
Mm.
So we're just bringing in armfuls of sound tiles. It looks like foam. It looks like foam pieces from a Nickelodeon set. And I'm moving everything in, and the lady at the front desk is just watching me and after
What
about
is this?
well, finally she was pretty cool. She was like, don't ask why, but I have it. Like, she's like, we have a shopping cart. Do you want it? And I was like, I don't care. Yes. And we got the shopping carts. We're just dumb. So I look like a crazy person. I'm walking in and out of this building. All these people are walking out and they're like, who the fuck is this new person? Is I'm just bringing in shopping carts full of sound tiles. And there's a U-Haul on a truck. And I'm like, walking. People are like, watch out for the dog piss. And I'm like, I know. And I'm trying not to like drag sheets through it.
Hey, at least it wasn't your dog piss. I
That
mean,
would have been the worst. I would have killed the
yes.
dog right there as retribution, as sacrifice. I would have honored them and killed the dog. And and then we have to
That's why you don't own a dog anymore.
yes, right. And then we also have to get out the 600-pound safe that I keep the podcast in.
Oh God.
And
Tell me
my little brother was like, how much does that weigh? And it was like a lot. And he was like, I need to know how much because I don't know if this dolly's gonna hold it. And I lied to him. I said 500 pounds. Luckily, the dolly could hold 600. So the dolly took that. And so we're bringing in this massive safe that looks like the 1945, the original A bomb. It looks like the gadget.
Yeah. Most things like dollies have about 100% overload built into them. So they're their rating is for perfect safety,
Yeah.
but they can take a lot more most of the time.
Yeah.
Take it from someone who's worked in the scale industry for almost 40 years.
Yeah. My hope was that it was going to survive. And if it didn't, I told the U-Haul guy, I was
It
like,
was a good bet. I mean, if you're talking about 400-pound capacity versus 500 or 600 pounds actual that you're putting on it, most of the time you're gonna be okay.
yeah, I literally had to like I literally checked the elevator safety thing twice. And I was like,
That's another thing.
it was 2,500. And I was like, okay, we're good. As long as, okay, we're good.
I have gotten out of an elevator. Well, it was a glass elevator on the side of a skyscraper when everyone was cramming into it. And I saw the capacity sticker on it. And it was like, no, we can get a couple more people in there. And it's like, no, if you're doing that, I'm taking the next one.
Yeah. Good luck. I hope you guys can get a couple more in there. I'll
Yeah.
watch. Yeah.
Right. I'll wait for it to come back.
Yeah. Yeah.
Empty.
Tell me how it went. Yeah. Yeah. Go ahead.
And if you end up like the scene in the Towering Inferno hanging off the side of the building, then I'll just take the internal elevator that doesn't go straight to the Sky Restaurant, but also isn't hanging off the side of the building.
There is some logic to being Buzz Aldrin and not Neil Armstrong. How is it? Good. Okay. I'm coming. Right. They have 2 elevators in this building, and the lady was like, oh yeah, she's like, we're gonna, whenever somebody moves in, we like lock one off just for that person. I was like, oh, awesome. Of course we get here, and today's the one day in like 10 years that the second elevator hasn't worked. So that was great. But all the while I'm just sick as shit. And eventually we did get it all in. And but I've been sick as fuck. I'm still sick for the last like 4 days. I've just been waking up and unpacking this fucking studio.
Yeah.
But
until you're looking a little green or a little blue, something like that.
yeah, and oh yeah, and then Yeah, people are like, I like the blacklight look. I'm like, that wasn't intentional. It's not what this is supposed to be. This is it wasn't supposed. People are like you. People are like you need some like '80s like neon posters. I'm like, God damn it! That's I just wanted it. I just wanted it to be cool lighting. I mean, I guess it looks cool, but
It does.
it wasn't supposed to. I
Well, I
think,
mean, your old studio, you didn't really have an aesthetic. You were just it was more like what you needed to do to keep the sound from going around and
yeah,
stuff like that. So and it's like this time you paid some attention to how it's going to look, and it shows. It's like, yeah, I
thank you,
mean, you're just moving in, everything's chaos and all, but I can see where you're going with it, and I like it. I think,
thank
hey,
you. I'm excited about it. It's I definitely like having a room. Um,
mm-hmm. Oh, definitely, yeah,
this
that's
I can just literally just put my feet up and just the old one. The old one really was strapping up. It was like
oh
getting in an
yeah.
F-22. I mean, you'd see me get
Or
up and go to the bathroom. I'd do like
or a Gemini capsule. It's
a
like
little more like that. Yeah, no, it was pre Apollo. It really was going to the moon in a trash can. But um, yeah, I'm kind of liking it. It's I don't know if you can see outside, but I, well, you can't really see it. There's a lot of reflection, but I
yeah,
can
a
see.
little bit. I can see you have a view there.
Yeah,
That's
no, I've
nice.
I've got like a really cool view. I really like it, and I've had to stop several times moving, and I'm getting all just frustrated and angry. I have to like look outside and be like, this is pretty fucking cool.
Yeah,
Like
I mean
this
your
is
view in the last place was of a couple of blankets, so but
yeah.
you were wondering if they were fireproof enough or not.
I can never remember which ones were fireproof, the sound paneling or the moving blankets.
I think the sound paneling is fireproof. The moving blankets were not.
And I did find that out finally when I took everything down. I was like, okay, the paneling is fireproof. But
Yeah.
I'm excited for it, man. I don't know what else. I don't know. It's a very fun. I do like it. It's the next iteration of this. I'm not sure where this is gonna go. Um,
And I am honored to be your first guest in your new
abs-
digs.
absolutely, Roger. You helped break it in. And I think when we did our first episode in the last one, that was before I had ordered those panels.
Yes. And
It
it was
sounded like a jail cell. I think you said that your dad watched it and he couldn't understand me. It
he
was like,
had to turn on the subtitles so that he could figure out
yeah,
what you were saying. Yes.
yeah, we did. And then I think my second episode was with my buddy David O'Neill, and we did an episode. And the entire time I was talking like this, and people are like, "What the fuck is wrong? Are you doing some weird ASMR, like sexy talk, whispering sweet nothings?" And no, I had to keep my voice down so it wouldn't like reverberate off the walls. So the first thing I did was set up all the panels. Um,
hmm
yeah,
they're doing the job.
yeah, I know I keep showing you, but I like it. It
hmm Yeah.
looks kind of nifty.
You got the EL wire little thing going on there. It's very cool.
My Tron,
A little bit of a look.
my
Yeah.
Tron, my Tron studio. Um, Yeah, I don't know what else I'm gonna do with it. I do have a wall right here.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, you actually have room to do some decorating and to put some shit up and all now, which you didn't in your old place. So,
I forgot I did order some canvas prints of the
yeah.
Bob Lazar one I made, the
Ah.
cherub ones, uh and then I had for another one. But I did order some like 36-inch canvas prints. I don't know if they're even coming. I don't know if I got scammed by a company in India or not. Because they
Yeah.
were way cheaper than they should have been.
Well,
But I'll find out in the next couple days if they get here or not.
yeah. Well, and also you can put your flag up.
Yeah, well, I got my well, I can't put it up yet. It's folded over there.
Right.
Uh, and I did order the Pharaoh. I did order a tapestry of it. I don't know where I'm gonna put it. I was thinking about putting it on the ceiling, but I can't nail it in here. I'll grab it. Um,
Yeah, the ceiling may be something like concrete, an apartment block like that.
maybe I could just use this as a blanket. Maybe this is what I should use. Just walk around downtown. like some weird messianic figure. Um, oh,
Well, I think it's the other Portland that's supposed to be weird, but
I think the other Portland's much weirder. This one, I do notice here, and I'm no prude, but I do notice everyone. This place reeks of weed. I don't mean this building. I mean this city. Like
yeah.
every store, everything, everyone smells like weed, which is fine. I'll fucking go for it. You know me. I don't give a shit. At first, I just thought it was like the lady next to me in the elevator. And then after a couple elevator rides, I was like, maybe it's just the elevator. And then I went to like the Xfinity store and I was like, maybe it's Xfinity. And then I was like, it's everyone. Everyone smells like weed. And
You get a contact high just by living in Portland, Maine.
um, yeah. Uh, I didn't know that they've like outlawed plastic bags here, like grocery bags. I didn't know that. Um, so going to like Walmart, I was like, hey, there are no like plastic bags in this thing. And she looked at me like I had two heads. She was like, "What?" Like I didn't know that there's like an ordinance here. That
I
hey,
think they did that in the other Portlands too. And
probably.
yeah.
But hey, I'll admit that I was very angry, and then I very quickly realized that you can fit all your groceries in a bag in a backpack. And I was
Hmm.
like, well, fair enough. All right, a lot less plastic bags, so I can already see my own
There there are
trace.
coping there are coping mechanisms. It's like you will end up investing in cloth shopping bags that you will reuse.
Yeah, well,
That's
I
what you
got one.
do. And
I
yeah.
got one, and this isn't
In
my.
fact, they'll sell you one when you're checking out if you don't have anything because there's no
Oh, they'll
bag.
fuck you. Oh, they'll get you good. They'll get you good. So I'm trying to think. I did I did see something last night that I was very concerned about. And I was like closing the windows. And I also do like there's a giant like lit up billboard on a tower over there that just constantly flashes the time and then the temperature. I do kind of like that. I don't have to I'm always glancing at it. Um but it but I just heard like yelling. And I'm like it was like 9 p.m. last night. And it was just like, what was the guy? Hey, hey yo, hey yo. It's not my first time in a city. Somebody's yelling, somebody's drunk. Fuck do I care? And I just like looked out my window and realized like I saw like a flashlight on like a phone on like a house way down the road. But I could have my glasses on so I could see it. And it's pitch black out. And so I can just see this like light on a phone. Obviously it's someone holding a phone and they're screaming like, "Hey, yeah, ah," and they're just kind of like yelling. And then I started to get kind of nervous, and it was like 9:30, and I was like, I couldn't make out, is it one person or two people? And then I didn't know, like, I started to think like, am I like witnessing like a mugging? Like, do I now it is on now it is morally obligatory that I
Yeah.
do something. And so I'm looking at it closer, and I could have sworn I thought someone was in a headlock, and like the way the guy was screaming. I mean, for a split moment, it did sound like a woman. And so I very quickly went from like, what is this crackhead doing? To I was like, oh shit, am I like watching something? Right?
Oh.
Well, I wasn't. And I'm starting to look more, and as my eyes adjust, I realize it's just like a tall, skinny guy. He's just jumping up and down on like a porch, on like a house, just screaming, "Ayo!" And I was like, literally the first thing I was like, oh, this guy's Canada must have won. He's just celebrating. Because I saw a guy there earlier holding like a sign. I was like, oh, well, whatever. This
Yeah.
guy's, I interview Joe Kent all the time. How the fuck do I not know that he doesn't know somebody or whatever? He's psyched about proposition, whatever the fuck. I don't know. I've been here for 3 days. This guy's just screaming and screaming and screaming. And as my eyes are adjusting more, I'm realizing this like doesn't look like normal he's kind of like holding onto the railing and like jumping and like kind of kicking his feet around and like it really looks like it's like it's almost some like uncanny valley stuff where I'm like, what is this? Is he just shit faced? Because I have absolutely been shit faced by myself in dance. I don't know. I don't know that. A fuck if I know. I've done that in the last year. Like I'm not judging. And so I'm watching this, and now I've been watching this for 5 minutes. And I'm looking at the temperature thing, and it's 32 degrees out, and this guy's in shorts and a t-shirt. And I'm like, I like the cold. This guy's out there screaming in the middle of the
The
night.
people are used to it though. That's
All
nothing.
right. And so I'm watching him. And so I start recording him. I make sure that the light's not on. Because I had this like 28 days later scene in my head where like I turn it on and he sees
Yeah.
the light and just scales the side of the building or
Right.
something. So I'm for this individual. I won't obviously I won't. I'll maybe send you the video later. But I'm
Because
like,
the zombie apocalypse is totally a real thing that might happen.
listen, Roger, it's everything's on the table. I don't
You,
know. I don't know. Maybe the lights activate the zombie code. I
when
don't
you've
know.
been moving, anything is possible.
When you're moving and you have a cough and you're delirious, listen.
Yeah.
And so I'm watching this guy, and then he stands up and does like a pirouette, and then he falls down like an entire flight of stairs down onto the sidewalk, and his phone goes flying, and he nails his head on the sidewalk, and he stops screaming, and I'm like, oh my god! So I turn my camera back on, and so I'm like narrating, and I'm like, this guy just fell, and he stands up and he's going fuck, fuck, and so I'm like just watching this, just like literally all the time thinking, did I make the right move moving here? I never once. Maryland was quiet, but you know what? I never had a problem. So I'm just watching this. Like, was this the right? Like, everything's still in boxes. Should I just move out? And he stands up. I kid you not, and he grabs onto a telephone pole and just starts humping it. He just starts humping, and so now I'm watching this for like 10 minutes, and he's just humping, and I'm not. I can't be the only one who sees this. And I see like this like girl park her car on the street, and I'm like watching it kind of apprehensively, and I see her like get out, lock her car, and like quickly walk away, and I keep seeing her look over her shoulder, and I'm just like some weird voyeur. I'm 5 floors up, just watching everything, and she kind of runs away. Another guy starts to come park. He sees this guy screaming, and he keeps rolling. I'm like, this isn't normal, and then he grabs onto this fence, and he starts humping it again, and he's just screaming fuck. And so now we're going on like 15 minutes, and I'm just bewildered. And then he turns around, and I thought he saw me because he like looks up. There's actually a siren right now. He like looks up, and then he falls back, sprawled out like Christ onto the sidewalk. He doesn't move. And I'm just silent watching him. And he's just laying there. And I keep waiting for him to get up, and he doesn't get up. And like, I don't want to go down there because I'm afraid he's gonna stab me with like some AIDS needle. And so, but he's laying on the sidewalk, and what they always say is, like homeless people, like why you shouldn't obstruct benches is because if you sleep on a bench, like you maybe won't die of hypothermia, but if you lay on the sidewalk, like you will, because the entire earth is the heat mass.
Right.
And so, like, I put my phone there, and I'm like, if he's still there in 10 minutes, like, I'll call the cops. Like, I really don't want to. And he's just laid out there sprawled. And I'm like,
Yeah.
kind of
On
pretending,
on
just,
freezing 32-degree ground. So
and I'm like, if he's there in 10 minutes, like, okay. So I go to the other room, and like, I like get in the shower real quick, and I come out, and I'm like changing, and I just hear like, and I jump, and I notice there's like lights flashing outside. So I go and look, and there's a fire truck, an ambulance, and there's cops. And so I'm watching it, and I'm recording it,
yeah. Someone
and
else called 911.
but there are cops walking towards them with guns drawn, and they're like looking at this guy, and they're coming closer to him, and at first, and I get this sinking feeling, and I go, "This guy's fucking dead." I was like, "This guy's fucking dead. This is on me." And they get closer and closer, and like just behind the cops are the EMTs, but the cops are clearly they've seen I don't know what before. And they get closer, and this guy bolts upright, and he just starts clapping his hands, and they all like kind of like let their shoulders down. I think they've seen this guy before because
Oh, probably.
and so the entire time I'm watching this, and then I had this realization that, well, one, I was like, I have to tell Roger this story tomorrow. That's the first thing I did. I was like, I'm gonna tell Roger this because no one's gonna believe the video, so fuck if I care. But then the second thing was like, it really did put it all into perspective. I was like, I'm up here in this cozy apartment doing what I
Mhm.
want for a living, and there's some poor guy down there who it's either undiagnosed mental illness or it's crack or bath salts,
Yeah.
and it's freezing, and he's out there screaming in the street. I don't know. I don't know if there was a lesson to this story. I really don't. Because at first I was kind of laughing, and then it started to dawn on me just how like sad it was that I was seeing this.
Yeah. I mean, I've seen things like that, because so living, well, not so much since I moved to Mandeville in '92, but before that, and when I was in New Orleans proper, then yeah, it's, well, I mean, part of it is you're in a city,
Yeah,
and you're not in a suburb. You know, it's there's a lot of shit that goes on. So, uh, one good thing is that I think that Maine is not known for killing people like that at the rate that some other municipal police departments are.
yeah,
They actually try to not, you know, do that sort
just
of
fire
thing.
randomly.
Yeah. So, uh, yeah, I mean, I was favorably impressed with Maine when like I said, I have this, it's actually the only part of New England that I've ever visited because I'm allergic to cities. So, I mean, New Orleans is a big enough city for me, and New Orleans is only 1.5 million people in the metro area. So I've been to San Diego because I had to go there to cross the border to get my teeth fixed. I've been to Los Angeles. Uh, I would not go to Los Angeles voluntarily for anything unless I absolutely had to. Uh, I've been to San Francisco a couple of times because I do love San Francisco. It's also a big city, but it has just absolutely wonderful shit to do, and wonderful stuff to see. Wonderful, it's like there's nothing on this earth like walking across the Golden Gate Bridge.
Really,
It's an experience that if you can do it, you should have.
really,
Uh, yeah, it's this is a thing that human beings made, and it's awesome. Uh, the city itself, the science. I mean, one of my favorite things was the Science Museum, the Children's Science Museum. Once a week, I think it's Thursday night, they kick the kids out and they have an adults only night, and it's like, it's like singles night. It's like they have little booths selling wine and beer and shit, and
oh
you can do,
fuck yeah,
and they have all the hands-on science experiments and shit where you can play with shit and all. Oh, it's like that was a blast.
fuck yeah,
Uh, they have Pier 39, and it's like, so there's just all this wonderful shit there. Now I wouldn't want to live there.
sure.
Is because it's like, for one thing, I wouldn't want to spend like
$10 million on a closet.
exactly. Uh, but as a place to visit, it's unparalleled. Uh, but my wife has been to like Chicago and New York City and all, and she's like, "Well, you want to come?" And it's like, "Nope, nope, don't." It's like I have no interest at all in going to Chicago or New York City or any place like that. It's just like way too many people and not enough shit that interests me to make it worthwhile. Uh, you know, uh, I I went to Milwaukee when I was 17 for the International Science Fair. and they had a lot of, that Milwaukee is kind of like Chicago Junior. They have a lot of the same kind of stuff. The oil baron, the robber barons of the 19th century built all these museums and shit, and so we saw a lot of those, and that was really cool. But it was also just this enormous, dingy, stinking, polluted city, and it's like, yeah, it's like the line in the song "One Night in Bangkok." If you've seen one dingy, stinking, polluted city, uh, it's like no interest in seeing another one. It's just, yeah.
I went to Manhattan in December 2012 with some buddies from college. We stayed there for like 3 days for New Year's. That was fun. But it's fun. It's fun like a it was fun like a movie is fun, like a movie theater. Yeah, it's larger than life. It's bright. It's like walking
Yeah.
through Times Square on like the days leading up to New Year's. I mean, it doesn't feel human. You feel like you're in a computer. It's just like skyscrapers going up to the stars and
Right.
billboards digital, and
Yeah.
you're in Times Square and you're like, holy fuck. But by like day three, it was almost through like Oz. I know that sounds like some new age shit, but like you could almost feel like the frequency rising. I was just like, I am in like the core of the reactor of like humanity. This is the fissile material. And I actually started. I remember when I took like a bus out of on like what like the January 2nd or 3rd or whatever. And like as I was leaving, I felt like I was like getting away. I felt like that. Yeah, it did. Even though like Metro New York is still giant, just like going across. I think I went across the George Washington Bridge, and you just kind of. I was like, oh, that is, and I know it's more new agey, but I get that almost kind of made sense. Is like,
Mm.
yeah, that's a place that would create New Yorkers, right? Like that is in the same way that like San Diego creates people from San Diego.
Yeah.
You do
Well,
start to see
because
it.
if you're living there, you have to build a wall
You have to
to
adapt.
defend yourself against that feeling.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And that's going to come across when you're dealing with someone who's from another part of the country that doesn't have that, then they're going to be like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it's like, yeah, you have to almost, it's almost like Pink Floyd's The Wall. You've got to like stack them motherfuckers up and carry them around with you,
Yeah.
because every potential encounter is a potential threat.
Yeah.
And there's exponentially more of those than there are in a place that doesn't have so many people
Yeah.
there. So it's like, yeah, I mean, that's the way I felt uh when now when I visited Los Angeles. I wasn't in the mid city of it, and of course Los Angeles isn't as densely populated as Manhattan, even in its densest parts. I was in Santa Monica, which is like considered a suburb,
Yeah.
although here it would be considered mid city. I
Yeah.
mean, Santa Monica is like downtown New Orleans. I mean, it's like one of, our old dense things, and they had homeless people all over the place because it's California. The homeless people are like laid out in the
Oh, you don't
park.
need a home.
Yeah, there's like, you go to the park at 7 in the morning, and there's all these homeless people just like laying on the grass
Yeah. Why wouldn't you? And
because
they're
you don't even need shelter or anything. And it was just like, well, you don't see that back at home. But yeah, so it's like, well, all these places have their thing, obviously, but uh, I never had any desire to visit a place like Chicago or New York City, or where you have that population density, just because it's like you said, it's almost like a psychic assault
Yeah.
that you can almost feel it's also there's too fucking many people
Yeah.
around.
I do. Somebody who watched this podcast there's bound to be somebody in Portland. They're gonna be able to pick this place out because it's gonna be the only window in this city glowing neon blue. I have paint. I can only hope that the person that finds this place is a fan and not an opponent. I'm gonna get a fucking Molotov cocktail through my window. That maybe wasn't the
it
brightest
it would
move.
take a hell of an arm to get it through a window 5 stories up.
That crackhead last night, I think he could have thrown it over the fucking building. That guy was.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's the thing that
Ow. He sounded like Sam Kinison.
it's more like people on meth that do the superhuman
Yeah, PCP.
athletic shit.
I thought I was, and I got Dale in 2 minutes, so we'll have to wrap this one up. But I did have this moment of fear because I still couldn't quite make out he was until the cops got closer. And there was, so I guess, some poetic symbolism. Right? They have the flashlights on their guns. It wasn't until the cops got there and illuminated the guy that I realized it was a black guy. And then I had this moment of fear. I was like, am I taping what's gonna be like the next riot? That was genuine. I was like, this is my fucking luck. And
In
luckily, like you
Portland,
said,
nah.
luckily, like you said, not at all. I was actually very surprised that it
Yeah.
wasn't like a conference. They stood up and everyone they like patted him on the back. They got him his jacket. I think he had sobered up.
Yeah, they probably all knew him. I mean, Portland is a modest sized town.
It's pretty small for a city.
Yeah, I mean, it's small. It's considerably smaller than New Orleans.
Yeah,
So,
it's not big. It's
I
big
noticed
for
that
New
about it.
England. Yeah,
Yeah,
but I was
but
just like, please God, don't let this be some like perverted Forrest Gump, where like my
uh,
first experience here is like the next riots.
no, actually, it was the other way around. You
It
found
was.
out that you live in almost like a super large community
It
where
was. They gave him the
there's.
EMTs gave him like a little baggie. I think they have something for if they find. I'm not even kidding. Like they handed it to him. I think it's like a protocol. But more than anything, it did make
Mhm.
me realize like it's so easy to like watch the news and see like a homeless person or like a crackhead and just feel apathy. But actually watching it,
Mhm.
and I realized I was like, there was something different about it, seeing and hearing it, and it being right there, and I was like, that's a real person that I'm lucky enough that when my life went south, I can move home.
Yeah.
And that's what I kept thinking. I was like, I got to move home, get therapy, and start a podcast. That guy didn't. And that was kind of an awakening. Um, but Roger, thank you for being the first guest. We will resume with the curators. You have my word. I will not be dead. I'll be finished
Yeah.
moving in. I promise. We will start it for
I'm
everybody.
telling you, you're gonna like it
I
because
know I'm
this
gonna
is
fucking like it.
books 3 and 4 where it's going to pick up the pace. We're going to actually have a war.
Oh, fuck yeah. Let's get
It's going
this
to be
shit.
kind of a low key guerrilla war, but
I'm excited. I think I need to get like one of those digital fireplaces. And it'll be like fireside chats when you do a reading. Maybe that's what I'll do. Is I'll get a digital fireplace. It'll be
you got
snow.
room for it now.
I do. I'll be snowing in the background. We can actually do fireside chats with Roger. You can dress up like FDR. Maybe sit in a wheelchair or something. We'll do audio only. We'll have it like crackly.
Well, I'm in a chair. It has wheels.
It's close enough.
Yeah, I mean that'll do, right?
Fucking who gives a shit? Get to make up our rules. Nobody's watching this. The biggest arrogance of saying somebody's gonna see this and recognize me from the blue lights is the arrogance of thinking that my podcast is big enough for anybody to recognize.
Well, now that Twitter is going down in flames, then you
Oh,
know
this that has been a fucking goddamn Roman Coliseum. That has been a spectacle. I'm kind of upset that I've been offline for like the last 10 days. But I'd log on like well no, I'm banned from Twitter, but I just saw in the news the other day it was like Kathy Griffin being banned for impersonating Elon Musk. I was like, what the
hmm
fuck happened? And
I would say my assessment is that Elon Musk has already destroyed Twitter. It's like even if the ghost of Christmas past came to him and
oh
convinced
yeah.
him to undo everything that he's done and try to fix it, it's too late.
Yeah.
Twitter is toast. It's
I
done.
I think there's a solid argument that he didn't want to buy it, but because of a meme he made about buying it and the percentage
Hmm.
of it that he
No, it
owned,
was ego.
it
It
was
was
well, it was I actually saw a pretty well thought out argument that what started as a meme, he had to buy it so he wouldn't go to jail.
well, the my assessment of it was that it was his ego because the $1 billion to buy out, of the deal would have been a bargain compared to what he's going to lose.
44. Yeah.
Yeah. Uh, but I watched Corrosion go down the tubes, and the things that he has done to Twitter are much worse than what he did to, than what happened to Corrosion in a much shorter time. And it's, it,
It's a goddamn spectacle.
it is, it's like it's fireworks. It's like it's lighting up the sky.
I'm here
So
for it.
you probably got Dale waiting.
I do. I gotta run. Roger, we will continue. I'll send this to you when it's up. I love you, buddy. Thanks for being the first guest.